Whoa! Busted play. Producer Zach, turn the microphones on. Busted Play podcast, NFL and NBA edition. Two sports. Both the only sports going on right now since college football is over. God help us. But we're going to talk the NFL playoffs and some NBA going on, MVP candidates, and our playoff predictions with, a bunch of things going on in Cleveland with Kyle Korver being added to the Cavaliers to definitely match up against the Warriors' three-point shooting this year. But let's go ahead and start off. NFL playoff picture. JD, this past week, what impressed you the most?
Not a whole lot, really.
Okay. What team impressed you the most?
Definitely had to be how well the Packers put it together in the second half.
Okay.
That would have to be the my biggest surprise, or the thing that impressed me the most. But really, I called every one of them. I said Texans, Steelers, Seahawks, and Packers were all going to win.
There you go. We got James showing off. Here we go.
What impressed me the most also was how well the Steelers defended Jay Ajayi after giving up 200 yards to him earlier this year.
All right.
So,
what impressed me the most was Brock Osweiler did not blow a playoff game. Bro, you have no idea how excited I was about that. And now we're going into Foxborough to take down the legend himself in Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Bill versus Bill. O'Brien versus Belichick. Who's going to come out the winner? Definitely not the Texans, but I'm pumped to see Osweiler. Okay. Under or over? Osweiler throws 3 picks.
under.
Oh, you think he's not going to throw 3 picks? Oh, okay.
I say under because I think the Texans are gonna try to play it the same way they played it.
What, run the ball with Lamar Jackson the whole time?
No,
I'm sorry, not Lamar. Oh my gosh, Lamar Miller. Get out of my head. Oh my
but
Lord.
no,
Oh,
if they
like
do
that.
pass, they don't pass the ball down the field. They do check downs.
Yeah, because
They try to take care
Brock
of the ball.
Osweiler's awful. That's why.
But I think it will be right at 3. That would be the most he throws.
Okay. Well, okay, let's go ahead and talk about the playoffs. Let's just give our quick thoughts on the games this coming week in the divisional round.
Give your quick thoughts on the 3 games that matter.
So, definitely I'm taking the Patriots easily. I say Tom Brady has 8 touchdowns. I'm just kidding. I will say if Jadeveon Clowney ends up having a monster game, we might have a 10-point or 13-point victory for the Patriots. So that's the best case scenario for the Texans. But with the Cheelers and Steefs, the Steelers and the Chiefs going up against each other, I'm taking the Steelers. Big Ben basically did not throw an incompletion, I think, until almost the fourth quarter against the Dolphins, which really impressed me. I think him, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell, that was their first playoff game together ever, and they shined. It was a great game for the Steelers. I'm taking them. Packers, Cowboys. It's tough to go against Aaron Rodgers right now, but then it's also tough for me to go against the Cowboys at home. But I'm gonna take the Cowboys just because it's at home and just because I haven't seen anything else. I know it's so much different in the playoffs, but we'll see. I think that's gonna be the game to watch. Got the Seahawks over the Falcons, easy in that one.
All right. I'm taking Brock Osweiler to beat the Patriots.
All right, okay, no, keep going. Don't even say you're kidding. Keep going.
I'm kidding. Patriots win by 24. Calling it.
Okay.
I think that in my prediction bracket, I picked the Steelers to beat the Chiefs, but something tells me about that defense in Kansas City when they play in Kansas City is very difficult to play there. It's one of the toughest atmospheres. The Steelers, Chiefs, and New England are, in my eyes, the 3, and Seattle. Those are the 4 toughest places to play in the NFL. Chiefs might be the toughest place, but with You know what? I'm gonna take a gamble, Dylan. I'm not changing my playoff bracket, but I think that the Chiefs are gonna win this game.
All right.
The Seahawks and Falcons without Earl Thomas. I see Matt Ryan throwing all over the Seahawks defense because I think the Seahawks are better off losing Cam Chancellor than they are Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas is their captain. He's their center fielder out there.
Don't you mean Earl Thomas the third?
Okay.
Jeez, Judy, come
on. But I think Julio's in for a big day. So, and Mohamed Sanu. So I got the Falcons over the Seahawks and the Packers at the Cowboys. Man, Aaron Rodgers is lighting people up right now, but if he doesn't have the ball, then he's not going to be able to do that. And I strongly believe that Dallas will control the line of scrimmage on offense, and they will be able to run the ball against Green Bay, and they will control the clock of time of possession. And ultimately, that's what's going to kill Green Bay is how they won't be able to get Dallas off the field.
That's true.
So I'm calling 31-24 Dallas.
All right. So that's next week. We'll have the conference championship games. We'll talk about these games coming up. But before we transition to the NBA, let's go ahead and talk. Has Aaron Rodgers earned your MVP vote if you actually had one? I think it's 15 or 16 touchdowns. 0 interceptions these past 6 games.
I think this is going to tell that Packers-Cowboys game is going to be the answer. And depending on how Matt Ryan plays, if Matt Ryan just lights up Seattle's defense for, let's say, 450 yards, 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions, your MVP is Matt Ryan. But if that doesn't happen, it comes down to if Aaron Rodgers wins the game, of course, you have to win the game. And if he throws the ball well, and it also depends on how Zeke runs the ball. So, in my eyes, it's either going to be Zeke, Aaron Rodgers, or Matt Ryan.
Right.
And it depends on who plays the best, obviously.
Yeah, I agree with you. If Aaron Rodgers throws 2 or 3 touchdowns and has a bunch of yards and 0 picks in this game, I would say that because 19 touchdowns now in the past 6 games.
But if
they don't Giants,
if they don't beat Dallas, but he has a great game, would you still give it to him? What if Zeke has 150 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Aaron Rodgers has 3?
Well, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't make it to the conference championship, I would say it's going to be either Zeke or Derek Carr or Matt Ryan. Because Derek Carr, is definitely the most valuable player in the
I don't have
Tom
Brady. I don't know why we're not. I know the 4-game suspension matters, but what if Tom Brady just lights up the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns?
I just don't think the media will vote him in because of the Deflategate. I really just don't think so. Give it to him next year or something. I just don't think they're going to because of the 4-game suspension.
I know, but that's insane if he lights up the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL. There's no picks in a divisional round.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Game.
But, it's basically...
I'm not saying that he's going to... I'm not saying...
You're just pleading your case for it. Yeah.
I'm not pleading my case at all. I'm just saying, why is nobody talking about it? I'm saying that it's either going to be Zeke. In my eyes, I think it's going to be Zeke or Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, see, because Aaron Rodgers definitely has captured the attention because of the underdog story or whatever.
Yeah.
The media loved when he said, "What's the key to winning?" RELAX. And guess when he said that 7 games ago, and guess what? They've won 7 in a row.
That was 2 years ago.
Oh, was it?
He
said something this year.
This year he said that he can. They were, I think it was 4-6, and he said I could see us getting it together and running the table, and everybody was laughing at him.
And guess what? Now they're 10-6, going up against the Cowboys, having a good shot, I think, against the Cowboys. This offense is rolling. All right, so
I definitely think whoever wins.
Football is slowly running away from us.
If Dallas, I think the winner of Dallas and Green Bay is definitely going to the Super Bowl.
I don't know, man.
I know you can't count Seattle, but I mean,
you can't, man. Let's say if the Packers beat Seattle, beat the Cowboys, and Packers play in Seattle, then that's a different story. But if the Cowboys play at home against Seattle or the Falcons, I think both of those games are going to be great games. No matter what happens, I think the NFC is – I think I made this thing to you before. It's kind of like the AFC. AFC are like the Cavaliers of the NBA. No one – there are some good teams that no one can really measure up to them. Then the NFC is like the Western Conference where you have – right now, the Cowboys are like the Golden State Warriors, basically, to where they have all the hype and everyone thinks they're the favorite.
Does it not feel like the
But
Falcons
then you have like
the
the Packers and what?
Does
Yeah,
it
basically.
The Falcons are the Spurs.
Falcons are getting overlooked. And then you have the Seahawks, who are kind of like, I guess you could say the Clippers, who are always in contention and have great talent, just don't execute at the times they need to.
Packers are the Thunder with Russell Westbrook.
I don't want to get into the Thunder. We'll talk about that. We'll go ahead and talk about that. NBA right now. Let's talk about the Thunder real quick. Zach, bring up the NBA
I
stuff
can
right
honestly see them making the playoffs and
of course they can make
somebody
the playoffs.
Imagine,
Playoffs?
Dylan, imagine if they have to play Golden State round 1.
Oh, well, I'll still watch it. All right, Zach, go to the Western Conference. Well, because we know what's going to happen in the Eastern Conference. The only team that's really going to, I think, give Cleveland some trouble would be Chicago, or maybe even.
I am actually ready to see Dwayne Wade and LeBron go.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work. But in the Western Conference, you got Oklahoma City right now. If the season ended to 24-16, they'd be the 6th seed right now. But Russell Westbrook tonight just got his 18th triple-double of the year. And remember last year when everyone freaked out because he had the most triple-doubles in a season, or tied the most with Magic Johnson in a season? He only had 18 last year, and he's already got 18 this season. So what's going to happen there? And every time he gets a triple-double, they usually win. And there's only, I think, 5 or 6 teams he hasn't gotten a triple-double against, and that's Cleveland.
They haven't played Cleveland yet,
Chicago. Yeah, shut up. Zach's laughing. And like 3 other, I think the Bucks and the Nets and someone else. But and I think they all play. He plays each one of them at least once coming up in the schedule. So we'll see. Maybe he gets a triple-double against every single team. But let's go ahead and talk about the playoff picture in the Western Conference. Jay, do you see anyone right now, maybe even the Rockets? I'm not counting out the Spurs because the Spurs are always there. But what do you think about the Rockets right now, 31-10? See if they went up against the Spurs or the Warriors in the playoffs.
Yeah, I have all the respect for Houston. I love it, man. I love James Harden, the way he covers up his teeth with his beard. Mm-hmm. But I think that how well he's playing.
Covers up his defense with his beard, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that Houston has the defense to play. I think that they would go to 6 games with the Spurs and Warriors, but I don't think they would take it.
Okay, so you think it's going to be a third series with Warriors and Cleveland? You see, I think that could happen easily, but I think Houston. I saw in the one game against the Rockets and Warriors this year, Houston, they finally got depth to hang with the Warriors now, since the Warriors don't have as much depth as they did last year.
Right now, I'm leaning no to a Warriors-Cleveland rematch on the sole fact that Warriors right now, they're 0-6 against the Grizzlies, Rockets, Spurs, and Cavs.
Yes. But that's a great thing. That's what I love about baseball and basketball, is that you have these 7-game series to where anything can happen. And even if Golden State goes up against San Antonio, you have Greg Popovich. Say if he's down 2-0, he's played them twice.
Who's Golden State's last loss to?
Golden State's last loss.
Go to it real quick. Zach, it was 0-5.
They blew a 24-point lead to Memphis.
No, they were 0-5. They became 0-5 against those teams. Go to their schedule real quick, Zach.
I know they blew that. The last loss was that 24-point, giving up the 24-point lead to Memphis. Yeah, right there, the Grizzlies. Then they beat the Heat and I think it said the Trailblazers. So they've lost to Memphis. Let's keep scrolling. They've lost to
Go
Memphis,
up, go up. They've
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Shout out Kyrie. Memphis again, Houston, Los Angeles, and San Antonio. They got blew out. They got
beat by the Lakers, didn't they?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So I mean, I don't see it, man. Unless they just turn it on to another level that we've never seen before, like the Kentucky Wildcats are doing right now in college basketball. I just can't see them beating the Spurs in a 7-game series.
I can't wait for March. I'll tell you that for right now. All right, Jay, before we go, top 5 candidates for MVP in the NBA right now. Let's go top 4 because everyone's going to say Russell Westbrook because that's my number 1 right now. He's averaging a triple-double.
Before I found out he had the 18th triple-double tonight, I actually had Harden at 1. But, I mean, right now it's like when both of them are right now, it's where when one performs better the other night, he goes to first. When the other one performs, he goes to first.
Yeah.
So, my 1, 2 are Harden, Westbrook. Number 3, I have LeBron. Number 4, I have KD. And number 5, I have Kawhi Leonard.
Okay. Let's go. Number 1 for me, definitely Russell Westbrook. Number 2, LeBron James. Number 3, James Harden. Number 4, Damian Lillard. Number 5, J.R. Smith. Just kidding. No, just kidding. Not J.R. Smith. I honestly, if I'm going to say most valuable player, I'd put at 5 DeMarcus Cousins because they wouldn't win a game if they didn't have DeMarcus Cousins. I'm just going to go ahead and
What about
tell you
Anthony Davis?
See, Anthony Davis, well, if we're going on that route, they've got good players with, even Buddy Hield is starting to show a lot of promise now. He's starting to average a lot of – Buddy Hield's going to be the next big thing in New Orleans. I can go ahead and tell you that right now. But just, I'd put him at 6. Anthony Davis, yeah, I just don't see him being that consistent a lot. Well, he can be consistent. It's just he's not clutch, I guess you could say, defensively.
Who we didn't say?
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Of course, because Steph Curry, like he said when Kevin Durant came, he even told Kevin Durant, I don't give a crap about an MVP. I just want titles. And I call bull crap on that. But, hey, Steph Curry is still, making these incredible threes, but we're not talking about him because you have the Black Widow, whatever they call him, the Spider-Man traitor guy, KD over there shadowing everybody. And does anyone remember Klay Thompson's, 60-point game? Y'all even remember that? No, because you have KD, just being his regular self, averaging 30 points a game, not passing the ball, just like he did in Oklahoma City. I think that might hurt their chances. I really do. He's got all these clutch shooters around him. Zach, what are you doing? Are you, happy? No? Zach, what you got to say? What you got to say, Zach? Stop crying. What you got to say? Zach, what you got to say? Zach, what do you have to say?
I just really don't like Kevin Durant.
No, you hate Kevin Durant. I know you do. But I think that he needs to utilize what he has around him. I know he's doing, the best he can. I know it's looking like he is, but he could give up some shots to Klay Thompson or Steph Curry easily, and they wouldn't be giving up a 24-point lead because in that span, that's why Draymond Green was getting on to him because Kevin Durant was taking a lot of shots when they started losing that lead. And I bet you Draymond Green was saying, you better start sharing the ball, son.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's it for right now. This has been the Busted Play podcast. JD, anything else you'd like to add? Producer Zach, thanks.
Corver to the Cavs, baby.
Oh, okay, that's right. Cleveland Cavaliers added the sharpshooter from
Atlanta.
He was at Atlanta. He was first in Philadelphia and got traded to Atlanta. Now he's with the Cavs, and that definitely adds to the three-point power. He's going to be coming off the bench to where he's going to be probably trading spots with J.R. Smith to where they'll have a three-point shooter on the floor at all times. So I think that's definitely going to help them out, especially in the playoffs. Fresh legs that can shoot and run and actually play some defense.
How about this, Dylan? Whenever Golden State tries to go to their death lineup of KD, Iguodala, Draymond Green, Clay, and Steph, Cleveland now can match it with Kyrie, Korver, J.R. Smith, LeBron, and Kevin Love.
See, I think it's gonna be a good a good matchup if they make it into the playoffs. But Cleveland's going to ease through the Eastern Conference. I'm ready for the Western Conference. I'm ready to see.
I'm just ready for the playoffs.
Man, I just want to see Oklahoma. Come on, just get somebody. Go get Rudy Gay. You got Cameron Payne back. Go get Rudy Gay. All right, that's my thought. Go get Rudy Gay. Help us with our 3-point shooting. But again, as always, thank you guys. Thanks for joining us, and as always, God bless.